Hello everybody, the lawn gnome is here. Yes, everybody, I come to you with a very special April Fool's presentation, and it is about that loathed film saga, which has basically told movie companies that every single young adult novel, when they get to the final book, transition to film trilogy, you are more than welcome to split the last one into two, just so you can make more money. Now, granted, Harry Potter did do that with Deathly Hallows, but because nobody wanted to sit through a 5-hour movie due to the fact that they had a attention span the size of a peanut, they had to split it up, because you couldn't make changes to that story. But then Twilight decided that they could do it too, and now The Hunger Games, Insurgent, and The Maze Runner will be doing the same for no particular reason. I have nothing against The Hunger Games, nor do I have anything against the other ones that I mentioned, but Twilight, oh god, that was probably some of the worst that I had ever seen in film history. It ruined movies for me, and for probably most others in regards to young adults, and it also ruined the world of vampires for me, as probably most people, especially if you were comic book fans. But why am I here today to talk about Twilight? Well, if there's one thing that I wanted to do when it came to Twilight, was I wanted to bash the living hell out of it. And I watched all 5 Twilight movies. Yes, I sat through all 5 Twilight movies. And it's because of the fact that I did that I actually went on Amazon and wrote my thoughts about them in print. And I had so many people just laughing and wetting their pants because of some of the things that I had to say about each and every one of these 5 films. So I figured, since I did have a show way back in the day called My Amazon Adventures, I felt that I could sort of revive it just for one day, but in a different manner. Because after all, what is life without a little bit of laughter? So I will give you guys a wonderful little spectacle of light and sound as I go through each and every one of these 5 film reviews and give to you my best quotes out of all 5 of the reviews, with a lovely musical background provided by Luigi Boccherini, the Minuet String Quartet in E minor, Opus 1. Let's begin. Music Maestro. Part 1. Twilight. Great. Now I have the emo. Twilight definitely has changed the image of the vampire. Suddenly they shine like diamonds in the sunlight and have lost their fangs. I have heard so many things about this story, mostly by girls who are madly in love with the Shakespearean-like romance between the 2 main characters. So of course, being one of the highest-grossing movies of 2008, I was intrigued. After I saw this movie, I wanted to hop into the bathtub with a razor blade. I am so sorry, but I thought this movie was so depressing and just pitiful. The real name of this movie should have been Emo, the Motion Picture. Everyone in this film was so mopey, it made me laugh. I would seriously give Kristen Stewart $1,000 if she could show a naturally happy smile. Not to exaggerate, but I actually had to watch this movie a second time just to see if I possibly missed something, and maybe my thoughts were just too harsh. Nope! All the characters looked like they stepped out of a CW TV teen drama. Anyone who takes Twilight over Harry Potter should take a Zoloft and make an appointment with their therapist, because, my goodness, you have issues. Twilight Saga, New Moon. The emo. It's spreading. Surely there would be some improvements in this film, especially with a bigger budget. New Moon just oozes with failure. You need a mop and bucket to clean it all up. The script? It was as if it was written by a first-grade English class. The dialogue was so cheesy and pathetic, I was throwing up inside of my mouth at points. Look, I do appreciate romance in a film, but when you put no efforts into the romance, especially by using such horrible actors to portray, it just doesn't come off as believable. The only thing they improved on in this film was the lighting on Kristen Stewart, because she didn't look like someone had just dumped a whole sack of flour over her head. Robert Pattinson? You know, I can't say anything. He should just be thanking whatever god he has faith in that he will be able to live off all of this money for the next 10 years. Taylor Lautner. Let's face it, he is just there for his body. The tweens just went to see him take his shirt off. Throughout the movie, I was just waiting for something to happen. No climatic action sequence, no major turning point, no nothing. The whole movie was just Bella crying and trying to kill herself to a very emo soundtrack. Then finally, when the turning point finally shows its face, a very weak and predictable one I might add, the movie stops. Twilight Saga Eclipse. I still don't get it. I would expect a franchise that is apparently so successful to actually be good. After watching 2 disappointing films, the third just makes me want to dig a hole in the backyard and curl up into the fetal position. For a movie that was supposed to give me an incredible epic battle of vampire versus vampire and werewolf, I am left with just a cheap blur of second-rate special effects. The dialogue. I mean, let's face it, I'm hotter than you? Someone crank out the crackers because I was just thrown a buttload of cheese. I am not trying to be biased because I am a huge Harry Potter fan, but I have seen all of those, and unlike the Twilight Saga, they actually try to improve on their mistakes, and always try to make every following attempt better than the last. I feel that in about 20 years, no one will even understand the question, so what were you, Team Edward or Team Jacob? Twilight Saga, Breaking Dawn, Part 1. All filler and no thriller. I finally pulled out the jaws of life on myself and got around to watching the first part of a 2-part conclusion to what I may consider one of the worst film projects in history. This film has no substance whatsoever, and would have probably taken 30 minutes to really tell this whole half of the story. The plot is so shallow, a simple 6-month-old can probably figure it all out. No one wants to see Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson do anything of the sort that was on this film. The best part is, there's only one more part to go. Twilight Saga, Breaking Dawn Part 2. Well now, this is interesting. After a slew of epic fails, I finally reached the end of Twilight. Kristen Stewart must have been waiting for this part of the story since she began this journey. She actually shows life in her performance as a member of the undead. As a whole, this saga was dreadful. It had no substance, no talent, no nothing. People who say that this is better than Harry Potter need to share with me what they are smoking, because I found no value in this story. The fact that rumors are spreading about recreating this saga just shows that the original creators put no effort into making something great out of this story, and all they cared about, how much money they could run away with. Oh please, wondrous Hollywood, I beg of you, can you please bring vampires back to the way they used to be? For I am blinded by all the glitter. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you got a good laugh. Comment, like, and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, and feel free to battle it out with me in regards to Twilight. I'm really looking forward to it, because I'm going to take you down. I'll see you in the next one, and actions speak louder than words.